This episode is brought to you by Elevate OS, the only all-in-one community operating system. Elevate OS transforms property management, combining resident engagement, reservations, rent payments, maintenance, and concierge services into a single super app. It also uniquely integrates access control, intercoms, package lockers, and thermostats, eliminating app fatigue and redefining modern apartment living. Visit elevateos.com/MMN for a free demo and see how they can help you level up your operations. Welcome to another episode of the Multifamily Collective. Before I get started today with another installment of the Thereby series, I want to take a second to shout out. Got a little piece of my dog there on my hat. I want to give a shout out to The Turnover. This is a podcast on the facility side of the business, the service side of the business, or what some call the maintenance side of the business. So from the perspective of the service team member, I like to refer to him as senior service team member. Sometimes referred to as the maintenance team members, sometimes referred to as facility team members, all different kinds of meetings. Anyway, these are the individuals that really influence our technicians, supervisors or service supervisors, groundskeepers, people who really serve the resident on a day-to-day basis as it relates to things that happen in their apartments. Chris Caramonica, Mark Sharp, Paul Rhodes, I call them the tenacious trio. They're full of knowledge, full of wisdom. They have created a separate podcast apart from their individual podcast called The Turnover. And as of late, they've been doing an Ask Me Anything or an AMA. So somebody anonymously asks a question. They do expose the person that asked the question at some point in their episodes. Like the latest episode had Suzanne Hobson asking a question. And then they take turns. They go around the horn, so to speak, around the microphone, and they take turns answering the question. And it's fascinating. It's fantastic. It's interesting to me that you see these different dynamics, that they have a through line in what they do for the industry. But the way they look at various things that happen, catalysts in the environment or tried and true things that happen in the industry, they have very different viewpoints as it relates to those things. And it's so fascinating to listen to these episodes and how they kind of think about the world. They think about the multifamily industry and they think about what they do to serve the multifamily industry. So my shout out to The Turnover, to those three guys. If you have not signed up for this podcast or subscribed to this podcast, you should stop what you're doing right now and subscribe. And then go back and listen. There aren't very many episodes thus far, maybe 3 to 4 or less. And listen, get caught up. And especially if you're in the service arena of our industry, this is the podcast. Go listen to this. And then subscribe to their individual podcasts because they're all very, very talented at what they do. So anyway, all that being said, Thereby series. I wanted to talk about low initiative. That's the next installment here is low initiative. So all of us have worked around people who have low initiative. In other words, they don't take initiative to get things done in your business. Now, there are times where even you might be low initiative. If you are a high energy person, you're blow and go all the time. There may be days where you have low initiative and you may not get everything accomplished that you want to get accomplished, or you may not get things accomplished for the business that the business is expecting you to get accomplished, but it is not a mainstay. It's not a consistent feature or flaw in your delivery or your character. But there are people out there in the world that are consistently and constantly low initiative. You are consistently and constantly lighting a fire under their tail end to get them moving in the direction that you need them to move. Thereby, your business doesn't move at the accelerating pace of business today. Your consumers don't get served in an accelerated way, intentional, but accelerated way that they desire to be served today. Your supplier partners get very frustrated by low initiative, especially low initiative leaders. They get very frustrated because they need to get things done, but they're waiting on or relying on somebody in your business that is very low initiative, so they can't get their thing done. And it causes their business to suffer. Ownership, right? Somebody that is low initiative as it relates to ownership groups, they suffer, investors suffer, everybody up and down the chain suffers when you have low initiative individuals in your organization. If you have a low initiative leader in your organization that is setting the tone for a downstream, right, that could really impact your business. So the juxtaposition of that is you have high initiative. You really do your God's honest best to source for, hire for, create the environment for high initiative individuals who are running hundreds of miles an hour, if that is even possible, that you are having to catch from time to time because they've just run so fast to get things done. Sometimes they trip up and make decisions that aren't in the best interest of your business, but you'd rather catch that person. We say this, we have the saying all the time, or somebody says this to me a long time ago: catch a tiger by the tail or light a fire under an elephant's rear end. You want to be catching people by the tail. You set good guardrails in place. You set good, clear vision in place. You let them run, but don't let them be hindered by people who are low initiative that hold them up. Sometimes on purpose. There are vicious people in the world sometimes who literally derail initiatives. They derail SOP. They derail. It's like a game to them. I think sometimes it's innately done. It's just a function of who they are as a person. Sometimes it's overtly done because they're vicious. My encouragement to you today is this: if you are a leader in an organization that has low initiative team members or lower initiative teams as a function of a team member, you have to eradicate that. Even if you like this person beyond measure, you have to eradicate that because it is holding your business back. You can obviously teach, train, mentor, coach, try to get them moving in the right direction at an appropriate pace. But if you can't change people, you change people. You got to get somebody else. That's it. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.